All right, well, meantime, President Biden's tax hikes and big spending plans are leading to inflation. In a year-over-year comparison, the price of lumber surged 250%. Also, steel is up 67%. Gas prices per gallon for your vehicles rose 52%. So joining us now to discuss is Republican Congressman from Pennsylvania, Meuser. Sir, thank you so much for joining us today. So the Biden administration spending just a little bit of money over the last few months, which obviously experts are saying are leading to inflation. How can we stop this? Because experts say we're going to continue to see, prices rise.
Yeah, the Biden administration doesn't seem to be letting up on the gas pedal. We last year, to get us into recovery mode past the pandemic, we did sign off on $3.7 trillion, which put us in a position for recovery. The Biden administration and many left-leaning Democrats thought it was a great idea to spend another $1.9 trillion. Now, granted, there was some reasonable money that needed to be placed in that rescue plan, some state dollars, some money for the Restaurant Revitalization Fund, for instance. But right now, we have far too much money, Allison, chasing far too few goods. And we're creating the inflation, as you see. I just had a group on small business people, those who use wood in the development of their products. And wood is, you had 250%. They tell me it's over 300%. So, $5.6 trillion in spending, stimulus checks for a family of five of $7,000, and continued unemployment insurance that puts many people in the neighborhood of $25 an hour, $40,000 a year, is creating way too much demand and not enough supply. So that's virtually the definition of inflation.
So how do you stop that, Congressman?
Well, one thing, the focus on keeping the economy hot, right? Keeping the demand high by infusing it with a lot of cash. And look, the Fed is responsible too. The Fed has put in $4 trillion is pumped into this economy. But they forgot the other side of the ledger, and that is assuring that the supply would be there. And by creating incentives to stay home, and regardless of how anybody wants to look at it, that's what's happening. The data's in. 9.3 million jobs are available. The supply cannot stay up with the demand. And what we want in the end is we want a pro-growth economy. We want full employment. We want to grow GDP. We want businesses to thrive and grow and have the customers. But when you're shutting down their ability to maintain the supply for the demand, they're hurting. They're not delivering the products that they want. They can't grow. And inflation kicks in, and then a lot of other bad things start happening. I mean, not to mention the fact that this administration is focused on growing the government as opposed to growing opportunity and growing the private sector, but they're going to need taxes, which will further dampen things. They're already talking about increasing the IRS, which is the wrong way of going about things, to create more auditors. I was the revenue secretary for the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, the 19th largest economy in the world. You don't collect all the taxes that are due by hiring more auditors. You drive compliance, and you use IT to make sure that you're finding those who are evading taxes, not avoiding. But again, they look at these things with a hatchet as opposed to a scalpel. So we will have inflation, we will have a bigger government, we will have more taxes, and basically an upside down economic policy agenda.
No, that doesn't sound promising.
Gee, thanks for all that, Congressman.
Congressman, something that Joe Biden always says is that, these tax hikes, it's only going to affect the rich. But when you're looking at the spending and the tax hikes, and you look at the people that really are being affected by the inflation, it's not the rich, it's the people who are on fixed incomes, it's the people who are on Social Security, older folks that can't go and maybe get another job or get more hours at work. Those are the people that this is really affecting.
No question, no question. Look, inflation is the worst type of tax, right? It affects all, and certainly those with fixed incomes and lower income as a percentage. But the other that they're engaged in, the idea of corporate taxes, the idea of eliminating the lower income taxes, if you will, that all translates down to price increases and will certainly affect lower income individuals far worse than anybody else. But again, to me, that's liberalism. Liberalism usually backfires, and those they're trying to help are the ones who they don't in the end. We need job creation. We need private sector growth. We need to create opportunity, which creates the American dream, not unemployment insurance, which is really a career killer in the end.
Yeah.
We can get there. We need to drive the private sector, and we need to focus on plans that put people back to work
if I can
in
presume,
good jobs.
and Congressman, I presume stop government spending as well. I assume that's one of them. We don't need another program. We don't need another program, correct?
I don't have one constituent of the 715,000 people I represent in Pennsylvania's 9th that tell me, hey, we need bigger government.
Right.
Nobody tells me that.
All right.